Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well and having a really great day. In this video, I wanted to give you all my thoughts and opinions regarding the Bitmain Antminer E9 that was just announced recently. And I wanted to do a video where I would go through and show you guys the efficiency versus other ethash or etc hash ASIC miners that are out on the market right now. And also I wanted to talk about things to consider, right? That if you're going to be purchasing one of these Antminer E9s, then there's a whole bunch of things here that I'm going to read off throughout this video and just go through in depth of just my food for thought, essentially, for all these ASIC miners that are coming out. And it's not just for the E9, right? I'm talking about also the same thing goes with all the other ASIC miners that are out in the market right now. Whether or not you believe in Ethereum Classic, or maybe you believe that the merge is not going to happen soon. Just a bunch of other things that I want to go through in this video. Okay, guys, so before I begin, this video is sponsored by nerdgears.com. If you guys are interested, today is the last day for their 4th of July sale. And if you look at their graphics cards, they actually have all of them on sale right now. If you're interested as well, they do have their infamous 240 volt metered 30 amp PDU, power distribution unit. You guys have seen these on my channel. These are very nice to see the power amperage on your PDUs, to see how much power you're using on 240 volt 30 amp. All right, guys, so link down below. Okay, so quickly, before I get into the things to consider and the risks of buying an E9, I want to go through quickly the efficiency of the Bitmain E9 compared to other ASIC miners out there. Okay, so according to this list, right, and all the gigabyte memory sizes I have here in a column, so the Bitmain E9 is 6 gigabytes, all right, confirmed on the Bitmain website, and we can actually confirm right here. If we scroll down, it'll be right here, okay, memory, 6 gigabytes, and it's like kind of bigger and bolded here on their website, Bitmain's website. So 2400 mega hash at 1920 watts, okay, efficiency of 0.08, give or take. And the price on Bitmain's website is $10,000 with a shipping date of July 15th to 31st. And I just want to clarify, I will be receiving one from good old Crypto Miner Bros. You guys know I'm partnered with them. I've already spoke with them, and I will be getting a review unit, and I will let you guys know. Open it up or do whatever testing you want me to do. You'll let me know down below. But I'm gonna also do a very long-term test of the E9 and just see how long it will take to essentially break even, or ROI, on an E9, okay, theoretically. And for those that have been with me for the past 2 years know, or probably seen my profit videos for a lot of my ASIC miners, which some of them have broke even in like 69 days. Some of them broke even in like 2 months, 3 months. But obviously that was during the bull market. But I'm going to touch on this topic a little bit later in this video. But anyways, you guys know the specs of the E9, okay? Now, going to the efficiency compared to other ASIC miners, ethash ASIC miners out there. So the notorious one is the Jasminer X4 1U. This one has 5 gigabytes of memory size and does 520 mega hash at 240 watts. Confirmed. It does mine Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. And I forgot to mention, I have 2 different columns here for Ethereum Classic that I've confirmed, I guess, on their website of all these other ASIC miners that are out there that can mine ETC. And then, of course, we got a column here for Ethereum, right? And some of them do not mine Ethereum because of, I don't know, a firmware issue or something. But anyways, you can see in terms of the watt per mega hash, the Jasminer X4 1U is the most efficient, or the X4 brick, or the X4Q, or even the X4 by the looks of it, okay? So per watt, okay, 0.46 watts per mega hash. That means the efficiency to run these takes much lower wattage compared to, if you go down the list here, it gets higher and higher and higher in terms of how much watts is needed per mega hash. All right, just to let you guys know. So then the next one, we got NXMiner, and then iPolo V1 Mini. These you've probably seen on my channel. These have 5.8 gigabytes available memory, 300 mega hash, and 240 watts. So I mean, that's almost, yeah, you see the Jasminer X4 1U is almost double in terms of the efficiency compared to the V1 Mini. But the issue here is the memory size, whether or not you believe, you know, with 5 gigabytes of memory size, Ethereum Classic, you can only mine up until, let's see, 5 gigabytes. So Ethereum Classic right now is 3.016 gigabytes DAG size right now. 5 gigabyte, that means you'll be able to mine with the Jasminer up until September 10th of 2028, around there, give or take. And if we go to Ethereum, right? Ethereum right now is 4.930. And if we change this to 5 gigabytes, it's going to be pretty much August of 2022. So the Jazz miner is going to be irrelevant soon on mining Ethereum, I believe, in like the next month here. But of course, it will mine Ethereum Classic. Okay, so going down though, all right, the Bitmain E9 is 6 gigabytes. All right, so for instance, I'm not saying Ethereum is going to stay proof of work for a while here, but theoretically, right, if the merge is being delayed and delayed and delayed, then you can mine up until 2024. All right, March 2nd of 2024, roughly. All right, on the E9, and of course other 6 gigabyte models here. Looks like Annex Miner, ET5, ET3, ET7. Okay, it looks like the ET7 is 6,000 mega hash at 4,500 watts. That's crazy. But of course, there's a bunch of other ASIC miners you guys can see here. I'm not going to go through that. Mainly this video, I just wanted to touch on the Bitmain E9, okay? So, guys, now let's go through the next part here of talking about just my thoughts and opinions and things to consider regarding purchasing an E9 or not. I think this is definitely imperative for people that want to understand, you know, is this thing going to be great for me long term? Is it going to make money for me or not? You know, this is something that you're not going to consider being it like a get rich quick scheme. Okay. And so the biggest realization here is for all of you is going to be the Ethereum merge, right? We've been talking about it all the time. Everyone knows the Ethereum merge is coming. Whether it's going to come soon or not begs the question. And recently they did just have another Oracle dev meeting, and apparently, you know, there's been some issues they've been talking about, and there's still a lot of testing going on. And so in my opinion, I really don't think it's going to be coming out in September. I have a feeling there's going to be, it's not really a delay because the merge was never announced in terms of a date, but I believe that the difficulty bomb is probably going to be delayed again because it's going to come about in September again. So the block times are going to come up. But anyways, just looking at, you know, Ethereum with their Aqua Devs meeting here, that they really didn't announce a date or anything like that. Okay, so it sounds like they were working on some of the issues and testing, of course, and TTD issues, I guess. These things, I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, I have no idea what they're talking about, but it sounds like, you know, there's still things that they need to get fixed and need to test, of course, on the network. And so don't take my word for it. Go watch those meetings and, you know, just realize, you know, that the merge is coming. Okay, it's eventually coming. I don't know when, and that is going to be on you to decide in terms of this consideration of mining with a Bitmain E9, because it can do Ethereum and ETC. I have not confirmed that, but like I said, Crypto Miner Bros is going to send me an E9, and I will definitely review and see if it can mine Ethereum and of course ETC. So just to clarify, if there's any new people here, the merge, okay, for Ethereum is the current Ethereum mainnet will merge with the Beacon Chain proof of stake system. This will mark the end of proof of work for Ethereum and the full transition to proof of stake. This sets the stage for future scaling upgrades and including sharding. For people that are maybe getting into mining or wondering what's going on, you know, Ethereum is one of the top most profitable coins to be mining, okay? And so when that happens, when the Ethereum merge happens, your E9 will no longer be able to mine Ethereum. Okay, guys, next point is the long-term conviction of ETC and other ethash, ETC hash proof of work coins. And I guess I do want to touch on how much hash rate of ETH is going to move to ETC after the merge. So these two things, I guess all three things here are really going to coincide together here. But let me just break it down of what my thought process here regarding Ethereum Classic and after the merge. So obviously, right, the biggest thought is a lot of the hash rate is going to move over to Ethereum Classic. Now, I believe that is the case, yes, but whether or not it's going to be profitable for most people begs the question. I think that the Ethereum Classic network hash rate right now, our difficulty, it has been going down from what I've been seeing. But of course, right after the merge, it is probably most likely going to go up. Now, does that make sense that the price of Ethereum Classic is going to go up along with, you know, what's happening in terms of network hash rate? Who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Nobody knows. Nobody really knows. That is the risk that you are willing to take. So going and looking at the Ethereum Classic in terms of now the profitability of the E9, for instance, okay, 2400 mega hash, 1920 watts, okay, and this is as of right now, current difficulty, calculate. Okay, so if you got an E9 right now at the current network hash rate, difficulty of Ethereum Classic, okay, current, just so you guys can understand that, because it can change. And so that would be about, let's see here, 1.93 a day. So if we go 1.93 Ethereum Classic a day times 30 days, as of right now, you would mine about 57, 58 Ethereum Classic. Okay, 58 Ethereum Classic. Now, if you were financially capable of paying for your electrical bill out of your pocket and hodling that ETC up until the next potential all-time high appreciation of Ethereum Classic, then, you know, the price of what? The price of Ethereum Classic right now is, let's say, 1567. So we times that by 15.67. So if you sold that Ethereum Classic right now with your E9, you'd be getting back about $900 a month, right? Minus your electrical costs. But I always like to look at it this other strategy of hodling the mine coins. So let's do 57.9, okay, a month, right? Times, let's say, what's the previous all-time high of Ethereum Classic? Okay, $134.10. So what if we did 57.9 times 134.1? That would be $7,764 if Ethereum Classic went up to its all-time high again, or even further in the next bull run. And that was only within 1 month of mining this Ethereum Classic, 57.9 times, of course, right after the merge. So let's say realistically, if the merge came about in, let's say, 3 months from now, in September, right, where the difficulty bomb is essentially going up until, right, September, for Ethereum. But if you were mining Ethereum Classic, for instance, and you times this by, let's say, 3 months from now, that would be 173 Ethereum Classic that you've mined all the way up until September, right? Assuming you get it now, right? This is assuming now. Okay, I'm just doing theoretical math here. So 173.7 times, let's say, $130 of Ethereum Classic price. That's then worth $22,581. Okay, if you hodled all of that Ethereum Classic you mined for the next 3 months and sold it if Ethereum Classic went up to its next all-time high. Now, do I think Ethereum Classic is going to go up to its next all-time high very soon? Probably not. Probably not. It's going to be a long, arduous, I'm going to guess, a bear market. And if you are able to, you know, as these ASIC miners are efficient, right, compared to, which I do want to get at, compared to GPU mining. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm going to get into the GPU mining aspect of it, versatility versus GPUs. The fact of the potentialness of the ETC price going up is basically the end all be all here. If you decide to buy a Bitmain E9, assuming that it can mine ETC, right? I'm gonna assume they will, as we've seen the Jazz miners and NX miners do it. But if the if Bitmain does not come out with a firmware update or a fix for the ETC hash, that is gonna be horrible. And I'm sorry, then it sucks, right? $10,000 for this, it would suck. But 10 grand right now, okay? I do want to get in. I do want to touch on the pricing of this. Versus buying hardware versus like maybe last year. The E9 was like 40 grand back then. Now it's like 10,000, right? Which is, in my opinion, I think it is a good price, but whether or not you have the long-term conviction of ETC or other proof of work coins. Okay, so this is where I didn't touch on the other proof of work coins, that there are plenty of other ETH or ETC hash coins on the market. Now, whether or not these are going to have price appreciations, who knows? I know that Ether protocol last year did have an appreciation in price. Let's just go check it out. I'm not saying that it could happen again, but it's a potential, right? Look, if Ether went up to 20 cents, 25 cents, and yeah, I mean, this really goes with a bunch of other coins here on this list. But whether or not it makes sense to mine with this and it's profitable after the merge, it begs the question. But the thing is, with these ASIC miners, and if you believe in Ethereum Classic, you know, all these other ASIC miners here, they are more efficient than GPUs. Okay, that we cannot get away from that. All right, these are definitely more efficient than GPUs. Hopefully that answers that question here. Not a question, but just a point. And then now, how much of the hash rate of ETH is going to move to ETC after the merge? I think I touched on that, but in my opinion, it's like I said, it's really going to depend on what's everyone's expenses, electrical cost, and you know, that is the biggest factor when it comes to crypto mining, because it doesn't make sense if you're losing what, like, I don't know, minus $1, minus $2 per rig or per GPU a day mining ETC. Those people are going to turn off because it's just not going to make sense. So we're going to have to, for those that are going to be buying one of these you're going to have to believe that everyone else is going to turn off their rigs to not mine Ethereum Classic anymore because it's essentially not profitable. And so in terms of the GPU miners, as you know, as the E9 or any other of the ethash ASICs out there are a lot more efficient than GPUs, right? That's what I'm getting at here. Okay, so hopefully that gives some type of perspective there. If you're trying to do this long term, you believe in the price appreciations of, let's say, Ethereum Classic, then that is a potential, right? That is a potential. I'm not saying go out and buy this and Red Panda says ETC will go up in price again. No, guys, I am not saying that. This is not financial advice. I have it down here. Don't blame me if you lose money short term, but come back to me if you got it all back and then some years later. Okay, that's just a joke. That's just a joke. So anyways, guys, next point I want to get at now is with the rejection of ECIP 1049 ETC hash to SHA-3 or KESAC 256 algorithm. Right, so the mining algorithm right now for Ethereum Classic is ETC hash, and it used to be ethash before, but they hard forked to ETC hash, which is very similar to ethash, but they did that so that they could kick off the existing ASICs, which I believe like the E3s or, you know, A10 Pros or whatever like that. The Innosilicon A10 Pros, from what I know, are unable to mine Ethereum Classic. Okay. Because Innosilicon claims, or this, I remember reading somewhere that their support team said that they will not be working on an ETC hash firmware for the Innosilicons. That's what I've heard. If you guys heard something different, let me know. So that's why I don't have the ETC hash column here. Okay, but going back, guys, going back to this. Okay, so algorithm can be brought back, question mark. So there was an ECIP that was championed on, I think, November of 2020 or something, or even earlier, and it essentially, the conclusion is that it was dropped or withdrawn. The proposal has been withdrawn from the ECIP process by its champion. It was, I believe it was this year. And so what happened basically is then they withdrew the ECIP 1049, changed the ETC proof of work algorithm to KESAC 256. So Bob Somerville here said there has not been any active work for this on several months. There is not a clear consensus on activation of the feature. We have also missed the boat to make the transition prior to Ethereum's The Merge event and the anticipated flood of hash rate to ETC. Just reading down here, you know, agreed, although SHA-3 would be the best for ETC, there was no rough consensus to activate it in the ecosystem. Let's see after the Ethereum merge. All right, so that's what Donald McIntyre said. So there's like, yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff here, guys. I think that you all should definitely read this. There's a lot that they were trying to champion in before. There used to be an Astor testnet for Ethereum Classic. I remember covering that like a year or two ago. Essentially, SHA-3 or KESAC 256 is an ASIC mineable or FPGA prominent algorithm. And so they wanted to move away from GPU miners and move towards FPGAs or ASICs, essentially for power efficiency, I believe. And I don't want to get into any political stuff regarding it. You guys probably can understand why FPGA or ASICs are, you know, fundamentally more centralized in a way, when with GPUs it's a lot more decentralized because anyone can just go to the local store and buy a gaming computer and buy a GPU. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. This video is not about that. I could talk hours about this, I swear, but let's just keep it going here. This video is probably way too long already, but I really hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to get at here. There's just so much info regarding if you decide to buy this or not, but hopefully that made sense. Okay, that made sense that the rejection of ECIP 1049 has been rejected now, and basically now it can be brought back. Okay, I think I forgot to touch on that it looks like someone said that, I was reading somewhere that it could be championed back in, like someone needs to rewrite it to meet the ECIP 1000 compliance. Now I don't know if anyone's gonna do that. They said the new champion vocalized intent to bring the ECIP 1049 proposal up to ECIP 1000 standards within the coming months during 2022, and I think that also concludes with the proposal being withdrawn by its champion. Okay, so that was on May 20th of this year, May 20th of 2022. So yeah, just to confirm that, okay, Ethereum Classic is gonna stay ETC hash for the time being. Okay guys, next point is the prices of mining hardware. Like ASIC miners can appreciate or depreciate depending on market conditions. All right, so in this case, I'm gonna have to show you guys a lot of examples just to give you guys that perspective and understanding on how ASIC miners can become very cheap during the bear markets and then very expensive during the bull runs. There's going to be a lot of like hindsight 2020 here. Like nobody knows how the market's going to do in terms of the prices of the coins of specific ASIC miners. Okay. Especially when I talk about, you know, the Bitmain E9 regarding, we talked about Ethereum, right? And the merge and Ethereum Classic. And then, you know, obviously there's Dogecoin or Litecoin miners like the L3 Plus and a lot of gold shell ASICs out there and L7. And there's so many other, like everything I talk here is pretty much going to relate to other ASIC miners. But more so, okay, I'm going to show you guys an example of I achieved break even on a couple ASIC miners, and I have this on an ASIC playlist in case you guys want to see it. I have a Innosilicon A10 Pro 7 gigabyte model, 750 mega hash that does 1350 watts. Okay. The initial cost of that ASIC miner when I got it was $12,600 back in January 18th of 2021. I started mining it on January 18th all the way till May 4th of 2021. So about 107 days or 3.5 months. And it mined about 13,500 ETH worth in total on May 4th of 2021. My electrical cost at that time was 0.08 C USD. And the electrical cost a day was $2.59 a day, or $75 to $80 a month, give or take. And so the break even, right? I was able to break even on that within about 107 days. And after electrical was $277.13. So that was a great example of buying an ASIC miner back in January of 2021. But who knew that Bitcoin and crypto and Ethereum would go up from what? $1,200 all the way to $3,500, I don't know, $4,600. Okay. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew it. It was really hard to say. But if you bought ASIC miners, even during the past year previously, and when the prices of these Innosilicons or even other ASIC miners were way cheaper, imagine if you bought a whole bunch and then you were just profiting and ROIing and breaking even like 10 times over, because the last year it was amazing, right? Assuming you bought ASIC miners back then. Hindsight 2020. So that was one example. Another example was a second batch Innosilicon A10 Pro, 500 mega hash, 750 or 800 watts. So initial cost of it was about $3,150. This was back in August 13th of 2020. Okay, so this is another great example. August 13th of 2020. So this was back when Ethereum was $400. Okay, Ethereum was $400. And so it broke even after, let's say, after electrical costs for 4.5 months. 4.5 months, I was able to get my initial investment back, theoretically, in 4.5 months. That was during this low time when Ethereum was a couple $100. It didn't even mine during this bull run here, okay? It was mining during the unprofitable times when that Ethereum ASIC was $3,000 at that time, $3,150. You guys can freeze the screen. You can see how the calculation is done here, but that's just another example. I got another ASIC example here is a Cadena ASIC. Okay, this is not an Ethereum ASIC, but Cadena. I got a IB-Link BMK1, and at that time, the price of the ASIC was $3,750 USD back on December 9th of 2020. Okay, it broke even, or ROII, whatever term you guys want to use, in 69 days or 2 months and 9 days. It mined about 9,538 Cadena, and it broke even within that amount of time. Isn't that insane? Look at that, $3,860.42, no loss, no profit, break evened on that day, 69 days. Okay, unbelievable. And so that was in the beginnings of 2021. All right, I don't even need to bring up, you guys probably know Cadena. The Cadena chart here was yeah, okay, so even the 2020, that was over here. Okay, that was in the beginning over here when Cadena was 14 cents. Not even during this crazy like ride appreciation here. Look at that. It was during way back here. Okay, but obviously that's when the network hash rate of Cadena was much lower. Not many people were mining it, not many people were getting into it, but lo and behold, oh my God, Cadena had a huge run up here back in the end of October, December of 2021. All right, just insane. November, sorry. So just utterly insane for that Cadena ASIC. So, but hindsight 2020, who knew, right? Nobody knew. Now, another final example I'm going to show you is the Bitmain Antminer Z15. This one, I received the first batch, June 2020. It started mining on July 8th on NiceHash. And I did switch to Luxor.tech for a while, but ultimately it was able to get the full money back after 4 months, around 4 months of mining on a Bitmain Z15, bought for about the price of the ASIC back then, June 2020, was $3,000. Okay, so if we were looking at Z15s, so let's just look at I don't know, I think I was mining into Bitcoin at the time. Yeah, so I don't really know, it was profit switching, so I don't really know how to calculate that. But anyway, that was before the run up. Okay, 2020, that was when everything was low. Bitcoin was 10,000, 6,000, 8,000 during this time, and then lo and behold, that Z15 was just pumping out money the next year. So I'm just showing you guys examples of when buying ASICs during the low time and the potential of it to make even more money afterwards. So of course, it goes back to all these things to consider here, whether or not Ethereum Classic is going to be that coin that will appreciate in price, right? That's really all it is, right? Ethereum Classic has to be that next coin, assuming if you buy the Bitmain at E9, right, that it's going to be the coin that it'll go up in price. Do I believe Ethereum Classic is going to go up in price? Of course. It's not financial advice, but I personally believe, my conviction in Ethereum Classic is that it can go up in price again. And whether or not it will go back to its all-time high begs the question. Really, nobody knows. But if you're betting on buying this only $10,000, and I say only because we have seen the E9 and other Innosilicon ASICs, other ASICs out there that cost way more than the price. I wish I had all the prices up. You know what? I will do that in another video. I will compare the prices. The Jasminer I knew at one point was what? $12,000, $15,000. And now what? The Jasminer is, let's just see what the price is. Jasminer X41U is $4,500 now. It used to be $10,500. Okay. And then looking back at like what else can we look at? L3 pluses, another great example. Like if you bought these during the bear market, and these were selling for then $2,000 during the bull run of Bitcoin, right? And Dogecoin and Litecoin. And there's just so many different style ASICs out there that have pretty much gone up in price in the previous bear market and previous bull run, sorry. And lo and behold, look what happened, right? Look what happened. So what's not to say that this Bitmain E9 cannot go back up to its $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 range. And on top of that, you've been mining the Ethereum Classic as well. So not only are you gambling, you know, that you can have the appreciation in price of Ethereum Classic, but you can have the appreciation in price on the ASIC hardware as well. Because as the price of the coin goes up, then the profitability will most likely go up. And then this E9 will be worth even more than what you paid for, potentially, right? That is a potential risk, but that has happened previously on all these other ASICs that I've reviewed. But obviously that was during the nice time of when the market went up, right? Hindsight 2020, nobody knew that these coins would go up. Nobody knew that Bitcoin would go up during that time. It was the perfect time. And lo and behold, those ASICs went up in double the price. And now, like, for example, if you were to buy like, let's say Bitcoin ASICs, right? Like the S9s, S19s or something. They used to be $15,000, $14,000. And now the S19s are what? Let's see here. We're just an example. Where's an S19? S19J Pro, $4,500. And I remember the S19 Pros, the 110 terahash version back in 2020 used to be like $3,500. Okay. So we're almost nearing the bottom of ASIC prices, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Probably could come down lower, depending on how the market is doing. But you know, recession talks, all that kind of stuff. But man, I remember seeing the Antminer L7 like $25,000, $40,000 at one point, and we got all these other ASICs across the board that have been dropping in price. The A10 Pro, 750 megahash, $3,800. Wow. But of course, right? You have to consider this, all of this, right? All of this, okay? The Innosilicon will not be able to mine ETC hash. That is what I have confirmed from multiple sources, that Innosilicon is not making an ETC firmware, ETC hash firmware for Ethereum Classic. So if the merge comes in the next 3 months, then this becomes a brick. But of course, it can mine other ethash coins that are out in the market, but whether or not it's going to be profitable or not begs the question. Most likely not. A lot of these other coins do not have the liquidity, volume, but who knows? There could be a market making event. It's really hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. Anyways, guys, let me go back here now. Okay, so hopefully that kind of understand what I was getting at here. Okay, so depending on the market conditions, the prices of the coins, you know, you can make a lot of money buying hardware when it's cheaper during the bear market. And then when the coins go up in price, if you believe you have a long-term vision of crypto going up in price eventually, then you know, you're going to be making money not only mining, but you can also make money selling the hardware when it's extremely profitable. And that is a business that I've seen a lot of people do it as a business of, right? It's a no-brainer. The E9 or any other ethash ASIC right now is these other risks to consider, right? These, especially the merge and Ethereum Classic, right? That's really the only two things that you should really consider, and if you believe that Ethereum Classic is going to go up or not. All right, that's basically it. Okay, all right, guys, next and last point that I want to talk about is the efficiency is better than a GPU, but of course it's not as versatile. So obviously it goes back to like hindsight 2020, like, you know, I was just talking about the prices of the hardware, so it may not even matter anyway, but just being versatile in terms of mining other coins, right? You can't forget, right? GPUs are multi-purpose. You can do a lot of stuff with them, not just mining, but like 3D rendering, cloud computing, you name it. It can do a lot of stuff. Gaming, of course. But of course, with GPUs, you can mine a lot of other coins, right? And you guys know that I am mainly a GPU-centric channel, but of course, I have dabbled in a lot of ASICs. You can tell by my ASIC playlist here, but normally I am a huge GPU miner, okay? So what I want to get at here is now, depending on what you guys want to do, what is your strategy, right? Of course, in the GPU mining ecosystem, there are many different coins out there. It's not just Ethereum, and it's not just Ethereum Classic. There is other coins like Raven Coin. There's Neoxa, which was just listed on What to Mine, which is freaking awesome. I just literally did a video on it. We got Firo, we got Beam, Ergo, very prominent, I would say Ergo is a top contender in being the coin that could be very, very good for GPU miners in the future, right? Autolycos is the algorithm which GPUs, a lot of NVIDIA cards are very efficient on, and also on some AMD cards as well, but not as good as NVIDIA cards, of course. We got just a lot of different coins here. Flux, of course, another big prominent coin. I think that will definitely, in my opinion, not financial advice, that will do well in the future. There's a lot of great things going for Flux. You guys can see, I am acknowledging here that there are so many coins that can be mined with GPUs, okay? So what am I getting at here is that depending on what your strategy is, and if you don't believe in those other coins, then if you only believe in Ethereum or Ethereum Classic, but realistically Ethereum Classic, because right, Ethereum merge is coming, right? You gotta think of that consideration, is that then you're gonna be purchasing these types of ASIC miners instead of GPUs. And you're gonna be considering risking the fact that, you know, GPUs can always be resold to a gamer. So you're never gonna really lose your resale value with that. But with ASIC miners, you can lose the resale value in terms of how and when the market goes down, when the bear market's here. You guys can see right now, ASIC miner prices have been dropping off a cliff, right? I showed you on Crypto Miner Bros, everywhere. Prices of these ASIC miners have been dropping, right? And it could drop even further, right? It could drop even further. So again, it goes back to, is it a buying opportunity pretty soon? I'm not saying now, but you know, maybe in the next year, maybe half year, less than that. How long is the recession going to last? All of these types of economic factors you have to consider, research, understand that if these prices keep coming down, it may be a potential buying opportunity for ASIC miners, and also GPUs, right? It could be a great buying opportunity for GPUs, because again, it goes back to, there's a bunch of other coins here that we can mine and, you know, potentially gamble on, or, you know, in hopes of your potential in the long term that these coins could appreciate in price later down the road. So guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. There's so much more I could talk about. I think that's it though. I really think I touched on a lot of like nuances in terms of certain things that, you know, and I'm just not talking about the E9. I think I've touched on it being, you know, a lot of other ASIC miners and of course GPUs, of course, that can, you know, we follow the ebb and flows of the market, of bear markets, bull markets. Hardware is becoming cheap. You buy during when things are cheap and when things are unprofitable, and then you wait until things could be profitable again, right? Of course, that is a big risk. That is definitely a big risk, but that is seriously the bear market, and buying hardware when it's cheap is definitely the time to create that wealth or financial freedom that you are looking for. Obviously, it is a big risk. It is a play that is risky, right? Because you just don't know if, you know, the prices of, you know, Bitcoin is going to go up again, ever again. You don't know if Ethereum or Ethereum Classic or any of these other coins that you see on What to Mine are going to go up again. That is the biggest risk that you guys should all understand, okay? So let me know down below if I got anything wrong. If you guys think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I want to know if you guys think I have any like validity to anything that I talked about in some form or fashion. Let me know down below. This is just all my own opinion that I have conjured up over the past couple years in mining. I am not some sort of savant or like OG or anything. This is just information I have gathered through myself throughout the years. And if you guys think I'm wrong, so be it. I have shown proof, okay? I have shown some proof here, but it all boils down to if Bitcoin and all these other coins are going to appreciate in price again. Okay, that's really what it boils down to, especially with, you know, if you're going to be buying a Bitmain E9 or something like this. So again, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're going to buy one, or, you know, as the Jazz Miner is definitely double more efficiency than the E9. Let me know if you're going to be buying the Jazz Miner or E9, or you're not going to buy anything at all. You're just going to buy GPUs. I want to hear what your guys' opinion is, and if you guys think I'm wrong, but I theoretically didn't tell you guys to buy this or not. I was just giving you guys all the considerations to either buy or not buy. That's basically it. So you can't blame me. You can't blame me if you bought it or not. All right. I'm not shilling you guys to buy this. I'm giving you all the considerations if you guys believe or not. That's pretty much it. All right, guys, I'm blabbing. Have a good one and peace out.